Welcome to Awards Bait, the official Galaxy of Film award show podcast, where we ask ourselves, what's getting nominated this year? Joining me every other Tuesday is a roster of guest stars to help me answer that very question. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome back, everybody, to Awards Bait. Here we've got another episode, and I am joined once again by Mr. Ron Fasiglia. Welcome back to the show. How's your reaction after the viral sensation that was the first episode of Awards Bait season?
How are you? I can't show up in public anymore.
Yeah, a lot of DMs
harass me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good time. This is fun. I'm looking forward to the whole ride.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the Oscars, getting to watch best movies of the year. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the worst, as we get some movies coming in that we think are gonna win some, and then they are just absolute garbage.
We've got one coming out this Friday, I think. We're very excited to talk about that. So we'll get into that a little later at the end of the show. I know you're very upset. I'm very upset too. Yeah. And we also had Venom. We had Venom just come out. That's another.
Oh
one.
Yeah,
look out for that.
That was supposed to win. I know that was supposed to be like Oscar bait. Well, you win a lot of awards.
You saw the TikToks I sent you. I was crying.
I know. I saw it. You spoiled it for me. Thanks for that. I saw the heart wrenching ending.
Oh yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
Trilogy.
Sorry guys, we're not gonna spoil Venom on fucking Awards Bait. Can you imagine?
Jake can just ruin it for me. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I just I needed you to see that because it's like, this is how the movie ends. Like, isn't that insane? Fucking Maroon 5.
Oh, I know. It's just the most generic cliche. Just like
I love it.
Garbage.
I was crying though. Anyway, so this show we're gonna try things a little differently. Much like the first episode of this show, it's growing pains, guys. We're getting there. I think this time I've got a fun lineup here because there is some fun news things that I'm going to talk about, and then there's also one big outrage thing that we're going to talk about, which I think is going to be kind of our main topic for the show today. So I might save that for last. But just to start out here, let's talk about some early reviews for Gladiator 2. It seems like it's good. So that's very encouraging. I'm very happy to hear that because I'm looking forward to it, and I think it looks good. And to hear that Denzel is really good also makes me very happy because he looks really good in the trailer, and I'm glad that he delivers in the full thing. So Ronnie, did this hearing that the movie's at least good, does this make you excited now to see it? Does it do anything for your interest level, and does it make you think potentially this could go to Oscar Sunday?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I still have to see the first one, but obviously after last year with Napoleon, I was excited about Napoleon.
Yeah.
And then reviews came back for that where I didn't see it, but I know you did, and you said it wasn't bad. It was just really like boring and sloggy.
Yeah.
And just like you didn't care. So I was just like, oh boy, but I know Ridley Scott has this reputation where he's like hit or miss, like every other movie's good or every other movie's bad.
It's weird.
But the trailers look really good. I mean, you have I'm sorry, what's the main actor's name?
Paul Mescal.
Yeah, Paul Mescal. I was gonna say the guy who played Joel in The Last of Us. I was gonna say that guy.
He's in it too.
He's in it? Oh yeah, that's right. That's probably why I was gonna mix them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks really good, and I'm very, hearing initial reactions are good. That's very good to hear. Now it makes me actually be like, okay, now I gotta watch the first one, which I've been meaning to. I just haven't done it. But now I actually have a reason to because I have something to look forward to with the continued story.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for it. And obviously, like you said about Denzel, that's good.
That's very good, and I love Denzel. And I think also like seeing this like new, because I've been hearing like around that we're heading into a new Barbenheimer with Gladiator 2 and Wicked.
Okay.
So very interesting kind of pair up for the Thanksgiving holiday with those two.
Don't tell me, is Wicked longer than Gladiator?
Yes. By 10 minutes. It is, yeah. Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Could you imagine like, Barbie was longer than Oppenheimer?
I know. What a world. What a world.
It's part one, remember?
Yeah, part one. Wicked is part one of two.
Yeah, remember part one of Barbie was longer than Oppenheimer. Could you imagine that?
Jesus Christ! Wow, that would be terrifying. But I think I'm wondering if we're heading into not just Barbenheimer in terms of box office, but Barbenheimer in terms of awards, because Wicked is on a lot of people's list for the predictions for Oscars, and
Really?
I kind of don't believe it,
I
but
don't either. I don't either.
we'll see. Wicked is a beloved Broadway show.
Has anyone like actually seen it? Like any
I don't
like
know. I haven't heard any like early buzz, but like
yeah.
I think we're getting there. So like maybe we'll hear some early reactions and then we'll talk about it. But right now it's like it's just on the short list for everybody. It's like, oh, this is our best picture like prediction. And I'm like, you guys are insane. Like I don't know if
Yeah,
it's that.
I don't think it's going to win Best Picture. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, no, they think
Dune.
nominated. Like it's
Oh,
like I'm like
I still think that's a lot.
I do too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. But I mean, we'll see. Maybe it does repeat in that way and it's like Barbie and Oppenheimer are both big Oscar darlings and maybe
Did
same
did
thing happens here,
Barbie
but
got nominated for Best Picture, right?
yes.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt Wicked does. I can see Gladiator for sure
Me
doing
too.
that
Yeah.
if it's good.
Yeah.
I just think Wicked's kind of it just seems like it's gonna be kind of by the books, sort of safe.
Yeah.
Like kind of like I see the CGI, like I forgot what that the AMC thing where they're like all, they have the Wicked themed AMC, like,
Like don't go
they're
on your phones.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like the CGI animals playing stuff, and I'm like, this reminds me of like the of Star Wars. Like it just has that like kind of cringe to me a little bit, and I'm
Oh,
like,
Star Wars is
oh,
cringe. You heard it here first, everybody. That's insane.
I know, yeah, hot take for
Wow.
me.
I just dressed
But
up like fucking Anakin, you dick, over the
well, I'm
Halloween
talking
weekend.
about the edits that George Lucas made,
Of course.
where
Okay,
it's
I
just
see.
it
Yes.
seems like that. It feels like that vibe where I'm like, this seems very like forced and not needed.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows? Maybe it's really good. Like, I mean, have you seen Wicked
I've
in
seen the
Broadway?
Broadway. Yeah,
It was good.
I went with Maria. Yeah, it was really good. It's great. I'm excited to see the movie. Unironically, I do want to see it. I think it looks interesting. I agree with you. I don't like the CGI gloss over everything. It's
Hmm.
making me very much like ew. And this has been in development for so long, and like, part of me is just like, that's part. And like you said, we've been joking. This is now two episodes where we've been joking about this being a part one, and it's 2 hours and 40 minutes long. And I'm
Jesus.
I like the Broadway was long, but like, are we gonna adapt every like
Yeah. It's like
facet
The
of the
Hobbit.
play?
It's like we're
Yeah.
gonna stretch this out into three movies.
Oh my God.
Are we concerned at all? Is Serena Williams? Serena Williams is in it, right? Or no? I'm so sorry.
The tennis player? No.
Yeah, it looked like the girl
Is she?
looked like her.
It's
I thought
Cynthia
so.
Erivo, the Wicked Witch.
I thought so. I'm sorry if I because Serena Williams has done some acting, so I was gonna say I'm like, are
I
we
don't know,
nervous?
maybe unless I'm wrong. I don't know. She's not the main character though. She's Cynthia Erivo is the Wicked Witch, which there's a lot of controversy
Uh,
with her already because
why?
because she it seems like she just sucks in general, like as a
Well, I
person.
was gonna say, oh, as a person, I was gonna say, I'm like,
Like
are we nervous about? Uh, yeah, it's not.
no,
I'm wrong.
that's hilarious. We gotta clip that.
The whole time I thought I'm like, okay, Serena Williams is going into acting. Okay,
Well, that's insane.
I thought so because again,
No.
like there was that 7 Days in Hell. There was like a mockumentary about tennis, and she's in it. So I was like, she's done some like light acting before,
Yeah.
and then I'm hearing 2 hour 40 minute epic part one. I was like, I don't know if she's gonna be cut out for it, but
Well, she's
it's
not
not
cut out
her.
for it at all. It's not even her. Yeah.
It's in my fantasies, in my dreams.
Maybe, but like no, the Cynthia Erivo, she's just like apparently like they did this thing where they released a poster for Wicked, like the actual movie with
Hmm.
that iconic like you ever seen that the playbill where she's like whispering to the witch?
I can look it up right now.
It's that they recreated that for the movie, and then someone and it shows like Cynthia Erivo's face, like it's her eyes and everything, and it's just like it's like paying homage to the Broadway playbill.
Yeah.
Um, and some Wicked fan went and just edited the poster, the actual poster for the movie, to look more like the playbill. So they had like they covered her,
Oh.
they put the hat lower and like covered her eyes and like made her like look more like a green witch.
Hmm.
And Cynthia Erivo just went on Instagram and was just like, "You are taking away my soul."
Oh
I
my
look down to
God.
the barrel of that camera, bearing it all and showing you my eyes and all this shit. And then like everybody's like, "Holy fuck!" Like relax. Like it is not like that serious. And then it became a whole thing. So I'm wondering if if she keeps doing that shit, she might derail this whole thing. So we'll see. But right now
Yeah.
it's looking good, and like the tickets are selling a lot. Like it's gonna be a big like box office hit. So we'll see if it maybe translates to Oscars. But it's good to hear that at least so far, one half of this Barbenheimer reunion is going to be really good, and that's
Yeah,
Gladiator 2 at least, and
yeah.
that is more than I would have expected because Ridley Scott, like I said in my intro video for this new season, is hit or miss. Like I really don't. I always like keep an eye out for his films. Like on like it's just a given for me. I did a blind awards race back in the Mayhem days as a podcast, and I remember being like, all right, Ridley Scott, like The Last Duel and whatever, and House of Gucci. I'm like, everything's it's this. I'm keeping my eye out for these films, and then it leads to absolutely nothing every time. And then same thing last year with Napoleon. So I'm like, this guy has burned me 3 times now, and I'm gonna let him do it again. If Gladiator 2 doesn't pan out for whatever reason, this is gonna be the 4th time, but hopefully not.
I think because of the name recognition
Yeah,
and you know the early reviews, hoping that it is good. I think
yeah.
he'll get something for it.
I think just the talent alone makes it like
Yeah, it's crazy.
kind of
Yeah.
need to be seen, and I
Mhm.
think in that way it elevates the whole thing.
But it is crazy that he went from The Last Duel, which is good, to
Yeah.
House of Gucci, which is like, is it like a mess,
There's
kinda?
I liked it, but yeah, it's a hot mess. It's not a
And
good
then
movie.
did he do something in between that and Napoleon, or he went right into
He
Napoleon?
did Napoleon. No, yeah, Napoleon was what was so it was 2021 was Last Duel. This guy
Hmm.
works. Let me tell you that. This guy
I
fucking
know.
works. He's putting out
Yeah.
movies every year. 2021 was Last Duel. 2022 was Gucci,
Hmm.
and then
2023
2023
would have
was
been
Napoleon. And
Jesus.
then
Maybe
this
just
year
because
is Gladiator.
maybe it was just my God.
It's probably just
That's a
COVID.
crazy work schedule.
I
My
know.
God. Yeah, you're probably right. He probably had some stuff like backed up and it was just like record, but they just couldn't finish it.
I think at one point, Last Duel and House of Gucci were going to come out in the same year, but then House of Gucci got delayed.
Wow.
So that
That
would
is
have been crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
He's done it
granted,
before. He's had 2 movies come out in the same year
yeah.
before. He's
I was like,
crazy.
granted, House Gucci was bad, but that's crazy
But
to
still, to
be,
have like these like, and they're
yeah.
both like named like big
Hmm.
talents in it. Like, and
Yeah.
Adam Driver's in both. That guy needs to. Like,
Hmm.
it was the title of last week's episode. That dude needs a new agent. Poor bastard.
Yeah.
And then those are 2 other films that just did not pan out awards wise or box office. Nothing. Did nothing for his career. Those 2 movies. Love him though, but god damn it. All right. Fucking, I don't want to get into Megalopolis again. We can't. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, Megalopolis. Yeah.
Megalopolis is something else. Anyway, we've
I'll
got
get a I'll
yeah,
get a what's it called? Award. What's the bad awards?
the Razzies.
I'll
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
Razzie. Absolutely
Megalopolis
get
is gonna.
Razzie. Yeah.
We should cover that on this show as well. Let's do it. That'll be fun. I
Yeah.
think it happens the same day as the Oscars, which is so
Oh,
fun.
perfect.
Yeah, fantastic. So 2 things are not coming out this year, but I want to talk about them because this is also part of the show. You know, introduce the film and kind of keep our eyes on it. So
Hmm.
these 2 we've got here. Jeremy Allen White is going to be Bruce Springsteen. This is I believe this just broke earlier today. A first look photo of Jeremy Allen White as Bruce Springsteen. I don't really see it. I don't. He doesn't really look very much like Bruce Springsteen, so I'm a little bit like, I don't know, but this is from the director of Crazy Heart, who Jeff Bridges won Best Actor for that. So potentially we could be looking at a similar thing happen here with Jeremy Allen White. I know like Scott Cooper after this has made mostly like kind of smaller like independent stuff, and like some
Hmm.
some some hit, some don't. None of them have really garnered any awards
Yeah.
recognition.
This
Um,
might be like the biggest movie he
that
ever
he's done
makes.
potentially.
I
Yeah,
mean, with you know, because you're doing a biopic about Bruce
yeah,
Springsteen. He kind of looks like him. I mean, it's just like a white guy that kind of looks like him. It's
yeah,
kind
a
of,
little
you know,
bit
close enough. Um, yeah, I mean, this is like his big chance, I guess, to make it. Because if this ends up
potentially.
not
Yeah.
being like just a generic like Bohemian Rhapsody, just like,
Mm,
which I don't think it will, because he's done these kind of like smaller movies that maybe just didn't click with audiences
Tony
like
Scott, yeah,
fully. Um,
or Scott Cooper. My bad. Tony Scott
yeah,
is something
yeah.
else.
Because he did Hostels. I've heard of that movie. I haven't seen it, but I've
I've
heard
said
it.
it's good.
It kind of it peaks on the letterbox at like a 4. So
Mm, there
I
you
mean,
go.
I trust that that's gonna be good, you know. But this could be like his big breakout if this ends up being good.
Potentially a nomination, maybe even a win. We'll see. I think definitely we can look at Chalamet as Bob Dylan this year as kind of a comp. So we'll see if
Yeah.
that pans
Hmm.
out for him, and if it doesn't, that's the other thing with the Oscars is it's very much sometimes like a it's a game of chance. You know, it's like sometimes it's your year, sometimes it's not. Like
Yeah.
this year, Timothy Chalamet might put in a really phenomenal performance as Bob Dylan. However, you and I saw a movie yesterday with an actor who's been working for a very long time and does not have an Oscar. So maybe it's his
Wow.
time to win an Oscar. So you never
Wow.
know. Like it might be that guy's time to win an Oscar, and you can't be like, in my opinion anyway, I feel like, all right, well, Ray Fiennes, he's an older guy. Like, I mean, he's going to be working for he's still a long time, but like
Hmm.
the fact that he hasn't won an Oscar yet is insane.
That
He's
is
so
crazy.
talented. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
I think I'm right. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's ever won an Oscar. And like, and he's good in Conclave. So it's like,
Oh, very good. Yeah.
so I could see him winning that just on the basis of like, well, he
Hmm.
hasn't won before. Even if Bob Dylan, like Chalamet's doing a lot more, I think it could still go to Ray Fiennes. So it's kind of like political in that way sometimes, where it's like very
Do,
kind of.
do you think Timothy could actually get two nominations for best actor
Um,
for
I don't think
for
he's gonna get.
Paul?
I don't think he's
You
gonna
don't
have
think he's gonna get one for
for
Dune?
for
I
Dune.
mean,
No,
he's really
he's
good
good in it.
though.
I think
He's very good.
I right now I want him to be nominated for that over Bob Dylan, but just
Yeah.
like it's it's a showier role as Bob Dylan, and you can tell that it's
Yeah.
like he's doing his own singing. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot that goes into that where it's like,
Hmm.
well, the nomination for a complete unknown could also be like seen as like we really like the work you did this year, pal. Like in
Yeah.
that way, where it's
Yeah.
like even and if he wins, it's even more of a testament to that because it's like, yeah, you did really good as Bob Dylan, but you also did really fucking good here, and so maybe it's one of those like it just raises all ships. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
maybe because he's pretty good as Bob Dylan, but he's also fantastic in Dune, they just award him because it's like you did really good in both. We're just gonna give you the fucking Oscar this year. Like why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
But again,
But that
Ray
depends on
Fiennes,
if he's good in Bob Dylan. Yeah. I think he'll be fine.
yeah, I do
Um,
too.
but we'll
It
see.
seems fine unless the movie's just like weak, which is possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
This is
Ed
very
Norton's in
possible.
it, and I like Ed Norton, so
Yeah.
we'll see. But another story I have here for the Jeremy Allen White movie is called "Deliver Me from Nowhere." It's coming out next year, so we'll keep an eye on that next year's awards bait. Definitely already an early contender in my eyes. Like, and it doesn't have a release date yet, so I guess that's also kind of a factor.
Yeah.
If it's coming out in the fall, better chances than the summer. So
Yeah. This definitely would feel like a fall movie.
it should be if they want to push it for Oscars, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Sometimes they come out earlier, like Dune in March, and then they still are able to play.
Yeah.
Next up, I have another film here. I kind of want to talk about it. I don't know. Nobody knows what this movie's about. So we
Hmm.
have Tom Holland is going to be starring alongside Matt Damon in Christopher Nolan's new film. It's coming July 2026. And I ask the question here, do you think he's returning to blockbuster filmmaking, or do you think he's going to stay in that awards camp like he did with Oppenheimer and Dunkirk? Do you think he's going to stay over here with us, or do you think he's going to go back to kind of the spectacle?
The
Not that
whole,
Oppenheimer's not a spectacle. It's just, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
yeah.
Are so much different than like anything he's ever made,
I know.
previous.
I'm
Um,
wondering if he's going to stay there.
the whole premise of this movie seems like so like we kind of like wild.
Do we even know which one? I've heard two
Yeah.
different things.
Oh, you've heard two. I've heard like it's like like a 19 maybe like
I
1920s like vampire thing or
I
something.
heard that, but now I'm also hearing that it's like a like helicopter, like Top Gun type movie. So I'm like, what the fuck are we like two drastically different? I know. I don't know what.
Oh. Well, to be fair, when we heard about Licorice Pizza, way back when it was called Soggy Bottom still,
Yeah.
we thought it was initially like a detective movie or something. Not a detective movie, but like a movie in the 70s about like a detective. It was
It's
something
not that
weird
at
like
all.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe it's still like very early where he's got two ideas and I guess
Mm.
these actors might be on board for either.
Well, I mean, look, he just won everything, so it's like,
I know.
yeah, like we'll do whatever you want, pal.
I
Yeah,
I
like
I think this kind of slants towards just blockbuster again, actually.
mm, yeah,
I
even
wrote again.
either option, vampire or
Yeah,
fighter
I think
pilots. Yeah,
especially the fighter pilot. I can't see that being like a unless it's like a Top Gun Maverick.
yeah. And
Like,
even that was like a huge movie. So
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, unless he gets like super lucky and he's able to blend both and get like a super good movie that's for the masses and makes a lot of money,
We'll
that'd
see.
be great. But I even told you back when Oppenheimer was coming out, I said like this. I think this is very good for him because he's always
Oh
written his
yeah.
own, fully his own like stories with his brother. And I'm like, after Tenet, I was like, he went like too much. Like he went way too overboard, and it
Yeah.
just became like a spectacle instead of like understanding and actually comprehending the movie.
Yeah.
Um, and Oppenheimer like grounded him, and he made this incredible movie. So I'm hoping that maybe like this little lapse of time was, and making Oppenheimer maybe helps him get back to making these great movies that aren't just super like just because in these two movies have like the chance to have be like a big spectacle,
Hmm.
but Tenet was like too far. I hope it
Yeah.
doesn't go too far.
I do think there's like, yeah, I mean, like, and we're phrasing it in a way that it's like going back to blockbusters is like a bad thing. I think like because it's Nolan, it's going to be elevated no matter what. So it's
Oh, of course, yeah.
like he's not making like a mindless summer movie. Like we all know
No,
that. Like
exactly.
it's going to be crazy. It's going to
If
be
there's
really good.
one director I wanted to have see blockbusters from, it's
It's him.
him.
Yeah, agreed.
Exactly.
100%. Yeah, like I think definitely like there's not like with him
Mhm.
it's not like oh we're gonna go to Atlanta and shoot the whole thing on blue screen. No, you're not doing. I know
No,
you're not
yeah.
doing that. Like I trust you. I'm just
Mhm.
wondering like, are you still gonna play in this kind of awardsy sandbox?
Yeah.
Um, I'm there either way. Like I definitely
Mhm.
will be there.
Of
Um,
course.
but yeah, I mean something to look out for July 2026. Wait a minute, I just realized actually, interesting. This movie comes out a week before Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland.
Is that confirmed? Like,
July
is it?
they both have just been dated. July 26th
Wow.
is Spider-Man 4. I hang on, let me look this up. I just like cuz I just it just hit me. I'm like, "Wait a minute. This Christopher Nolan movie is July 17th, and I believe the
Uh,
following week is Spider-Man. July 17th, 2026 is Nolan's film, and then coming up after that, July 26th, 2026 is Spider-Man 4.
I feel like one has to move. I feel like
I
one of them is gonna move.
I have a feeling both. I mean, Nolan loves his July,
Yeah.
and Spider-Man
Is a
is
I
gonna
could
stay
see
there.
I could see if Spider-Man like finishes quicker, it could move up to May because that's when it used to come out. Like
That's
The
Avengers is
Toby
coming
Mag
out,
Oh, so it
so
won't,
it
yeah.
definitely won't.
So no, it's gonna be, yeah, they
It
might
could
stay.
it could be early. It could be like a July 4th, and then it's like 2 weeks without.
Yeah, maybe I could see that, yeah.
I don't know,
But no,
but
yeah, they're staying then, yeah, because they're not moving
that's
Avengers. They're not
crazy.
putting, yeah.
And they want
Um,
Spider-Man. If it were up to them, they'd have Spider-Man out tomorrow. I'm sure like this delay is just
yeah.
really pissing them off because it's like they've they fit like No Way Home came out fucking 4 years ago almost. Like it's crazy.
It
No,
came out in 2020?
2021. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay,
So, but by
almost
the
three
time
years.
this comes out, it'll be 5 years. So it's like
Oh my God.
it's like this is a long break for like a Spider-Man movie. So it's like,
Yeah, that's a good
well,
point.
especially one that made almost $2 billion.
I wonder, I know we're getting a little off topic, but I
Yeah.
wonder how they're gonna do the fourth Spider-Man movie. Like, is it gonna be like they went for like 5 years and no one's known who he is and he's still struggling as Peter Parker?
I don't think it'll be a real world time jump. I think it'll be like,
Yeah, which
you know what I mean?
I feel like that'd be more interesting, just
I
to be
agree.
like,
Street
okay,
level.
he's like 5 years, he's just been like just down in the dump, not down in dumps, but like he's just been Peter Parker with no Mary Jane, like
Yeah.
no Ned or
Nothing.
what's his name, Ted? Ned?
Ned. Yeah.
Ned. Yeah, I had it right. But no,
You're gonna get
Mer
Zendaya back.
Hollywood loves Tom Holland a lot,
Yeah.
I guess.
I think he's
So
fine.
yeah, me too. He's fine, and he hates Hollywood, so it's just surprising that like everyone wants him as like their top star. And
I know.
you hear him in interviews. He's like, I don't want to be in the spotlight, all
Oh,
that stuff.
interesting. Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
mean, look, he's doing it right. He's dating Zendaya.
I
He's
know. Yeah,
doing it right. He's got it. He's got everything he needs. He's
yeah.
Spider-Man. He's gonna be in friggin' Christopher Nolan movie. Can't fault him. Can't
King of
fault
the
him.
world, man.
King of the world. He's
He's not?
sober.
Is he not even 30?
No, not even 30 yet.
We're gonna see him for our entire lives. He's gonna be like he's
Scary
literally gonna
thought.
be our
Scary.
like Robert De Niro. Uh, he's just gonna be there our entire lives.
He already has his
Just
taxi driver with Cherry. Nope.
Oh God.
Cherry. I remember talking. I think I talked about Cherry on a Words Bait or whatever the other show, Flying to Words Bait.
Oh boy.
Christ. All right, let's get to the outrageous, most ridiculous thing in this whole episode. It's probably going to be the title. How
Hmm.
freaking huge this is. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Dune Part 2 has been marked as ineligible for best score. Hans Zimmer. Guy made a
Unbelievable.
tremendous, tremendous, amazing score, and he's not getting recognized this year. You want to hear why? All
Tell
right,
me.
I wrote down why. But the film, because it uses more than 20% of pre-existing music, it is now ineligible. It is a sequel rule. So, because he used, I guess, too many cues and too many themes from Dune Part 1, this new score that he did for Part 2 is now ineligible. So, it cannot be nominated for Best Score. So, when we're talking about Oscar nominations in a couple months, and we get to Best Score, and Dune Part 2 is not there, you can look back at this video as to why. And why this is a rule all of a sudden that I've just now heard of, and not back when Star Wars was nominated and fucking Indiana Jones. Makes no sense. Because when you think about that, it's like, well, that's all rehashed music from other
Yeah.
things. So
That
what the
is
hell is that? Like, that's
yeah.
confusing. Like, are we just awarding John Williams because he's John Williams, or are we bending the rules? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
This seems like a rule that was kind of made like within the 21st century.
uh-huh. Some bullshit.
This is really dumb. I mean, it's clearly the best score of any movie this year.
I agree.
I mean, I can't even think of another movie with a score to begin with.
I really liked Conclaves.
I was gonna mention Conclaves was good.
Yeah.
Um, let me look like super quick
And
because I just want to see.
Challengers was weird. I liked
Yeah,
Challengers
I can see. Well, without Dune now, I can see Challengers doing
potentially winning.
something.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, but yeah, nothing else this year was gonna really top Dune, and now you just take out the biggest hitter because it has 21% probably, just
Some
some dumb
bullshit.
like
Yeah.
that.
Who
Um,
who calculates that?
it's probably like the track listing that's like officially on like Spotify or whatever, or maybe it is like literally the music sound in the movie, like the total runtime, how much of it percentage
Is
wise is.
reused. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Um, yeah, very dumb. Um, you hate to see it. You hate to see the good guys lose.
Yeah, that's what's happening here. Dune can no longer have like a tremendous sweep because it's been ineligible for this. Isn't that disgusting? I can't believe it.
Absolutely wretched. I hate that a lot, actually.
I know, and it's our main topic here on the Awards Bait episode 2, and it's
Yeah,
very exciting.
because Dune deserves like everything because last year you had Oppenheimer just completely blow out
Yeah,
everything.
I know, and that's
And
gonna be this year.
Dune is arguably like as good if not better of a movie than Oppenheimer.
I think so.
Um
Yeah.
and it can't win one award because of a rule.
Yep.
Even though I don't even like I know there's like the sort of tribal voices,
Yeah.
but beyond that, like is there really that much that's repeated? I didn't think 20% was repeated.
I know. I didn't either. I actually like now that you mention it, like a lot of I mean, I guess like some of the Harkonnen stuff, but like even that is like not. It's
I know
different.
I was gonna say I know they kind of like redo some of the sounds, but in a new instrumental sort of setup.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know
and
if
a
they're
lot of
counting
it, like
that.
they have that same woman doing like
Yeah.
the screech or whatever,
Hmm.
but it's like
Yeah.
even that is like new. Like they did different things with that. Like when he's riding the worm, like that cue comes
I was gonna
in,
say, yeah.
but it's like it's
Different.
different. Like it's not the
Yeah.
same. And then the
That's really
doom, doom,
stupid.
doom, 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 like the drums and shit. But it's like it's so fun. I'm gonna watch it now. Now I'm gonna
I
watch
know.
it.
I gotta watch. I meant to see it four
Memory.
times in theaters. I only got to see it three.
I
Yeah, I'm
saw it
never.
4, and then I bought it on. I went. I made. You remember my story? I had to go buy the
Oh,
Blu-ray. Had to go buy the Blu-ray, and
you
then
went
guess
to
what?
like literally every single physical store possible that would sell Blu-rays to find this movie.
And again, what did I do? I did this same exact thing last year with Oppenheimer. And what did Oppenheimer do? It won Best Picture. So let me tell you, I know how to pick them. So I think
Yeah.
Dune 2 is going to do well. However,
Yeah.
yeah, I had to drive all around my general area here to find Dune 2 on Blu-ray. Could not find it. Could not. No, none of the stores were stocking it. Such bullshit. And then finally, I did find it, and then what did I do when I got home? I put it right into my Voodoo account, and then because again I was telling you I have a digital PS5. I can't even watch the Blu-ray, so I'm doing all this just to have it sit on my fucking shelf. And you know what? Hey, I'm better for it. So I'm happy.
One day you're gonna have that 4K Blu-ray drive. You'll be all set to
I
actually pop
will.
it out.
Yep,
That should be the
exactly.
first one.
Dune 2, absolutely.
Dune 2, then
Yep.
Oppenheimer, just back to back,
Back
like
to
five
back,
hours.
just my day. Yeah.
The entire day.
Oh
Um,
man, but yeah, this is bullshit, and it's really upsetting,
but yeah,
especially when so much of the score is incredible.
yeah. I mean, look, I mean, what else really could win best score now? Like Conclave? I mean, what?
I think genuinely Conclave because All Quiet on the Western Front I think won, and that was a really great score. And this reminded me of that, so I was like, I think Conclave could be the one, especially because you have the same composer coming back. Um, Another competing score could potentially be Joker 2. But again, I think that would be ineligible because that also uses so much of the first movie score.
Yeah.
But like, if that's eligible, I'm going to have to investigate because like that's horseshit. Because like that, so much of that is like the same like violins from the first one.
So
So,
it won best achievement in music written for motion pictures. Is that just best score?
ooh, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's best score. So that would
Yeah.
be yeah. That's
So I mean, again, like we both knew, like I mean, we both noticed that the sound was good.
Yeah,
Um,
it was great. I like the score in Conclave. I like the score in Challengers. I like the score in Joker, but if Joker is nominated and is not, it's if it's eligible, I'm going to be like,
what
what's going
what?
on? Like, I
Yeah.
need to look into that because
Hmm.
it's yeah, so much of it again is those violins. Again,
Hmm.
it's the same thing, and it's a great score. It won best score for the first Joker. So I
Yeah.
could again another big contender there. But
Yeah.
again, Joker's such a misfire.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
can't really justify that being nominated anywhere except for like maybe cinematography and score. But
Yeah. But
again,
I mean,
it's just such a bad story with Joker
yeah.
that I can't really they can't really it would be a bad look to have that anywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know what they're gonna put in place, but yeah, I definitely think we've got two there. I think Conclave and Challengers potentially,
Yeah.
especially with Trent Reznor and Atticus. Like they're always there, right? Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, like they're
Hmm.
incredible
Yeah.
composer or score people. They did Challengers, and I think they did something else this year as well. I
Mm.
don't remember though. But they're always like making like they did a Social Network as well. They're incredible.
Wow. Okay.
So
Yeah.
they're great. And a lot of Fincher stuff, actually.
Hmm.
All right, we saw two movies since our first episode. We're gonna talk a little bit about them. A little bit
Hmm.
about them. So we saw We Live in Time like very shortly after the first episode went live.
Hmm.
So this one is about it's kind of a more of a more straightforward one than I expected. I mean, it's told out of order, which makes it a little different and interesting. And
Yeah.
it's from A24. Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh, they are a couple, and it tells the story sort of their life, their experience having children. Some hardships ensue regarding Florence Pugh's health. We'll we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. And yeah, it's just kind of a fun. It's like a sweet movie. It's just nothing crazy. I don't really know if this is gonna go the distance. I do think Florence Pugh, like I would nominate her. I thought she was great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
Best
really enjoyed
actress.
it. Ronnie, how did you think about We Live in Time? Did
It
you
was,
love it?
yeah, it was a good time. Yeah. No, I think she should definitely get nominated for Best Actress. I
Yeah.
mean, her performance was like just so like because we see her going through these health concerns and
Yeah.
issues. You see her kind of completely change and go through not only that, but like life changes with having children, and
Hmm.
you get to actually like see that happen.
Yeah.
It was a really good movie. I thought the sort of out of time where you just have like scenes where they're kind of out of order was kind of it. I mean, I kind of see what they were going with, but it felt kind of lazy. Not lazy, but it seemed like they kind of just did it to just
Just
do
to
it
do it. I agree.
because by the end it was kind of just like, oh, you're just telling it now in order by the end. It's not
Right.
like it doesn't really matter. It's not
It's
like
not
the
gonna
end.
end at the start. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not anything like that. But I guess it's interesting story structure to tell it like that. I mean,
I think it keeps it from being super generic. Like I think it's like
yeah,
because
it's
I was watching like I can't remember whose review I watched, but I watched somebody's review for this on YouTube, and it was like, yeah, this movie is saved by really, really, really talented actors. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah, you're not
absolutely.
wrong. Like a lot of this is pretty, this has been there, done that. Like we've seen it before. And
Hmm.
it really is just elevated by these two really incredible performers. And I don't disagree with that. I do think the movie has a lot to offer. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I definitely agree that like they heighten it. Like if they weren't in this, I don't know if this would be as good.
No, no, it wouldn't. And even, I mean, is this a non A24 like actually produced movie? Is it something that you just bought on the market
I
on the
don't know.
indie
That's
festival?
all they do now. So I don't even know.
Yeah.
They just pick up
I
shit, and I think it's spreading them way too thin.
Yeah, because this kind of seemed like A24 was like, let's just get like a more normal movie in our sort of catalog.
Yeah,
No, I agree. Yeah, like if it wasn't for for Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh, this movie would kind of like it would fall away. I think it'd still be like it would be more generic, but it'd be still good
yeah,
because it's got that personality and the direction and the sort of style and the story that's being told.
yeah.
But it is kind of like you mentioned already, like for not super formulaic, but formulaic enough, and it's kind of like nothing completely new that you haven't seen before.
I definitely think without Andrew and Florence, this doesn't go to theaters.
Really, you think it's
Like
like
I
a
think I think it goes to it's like a Netflix movie. I don't think
wow,
anybody looks at this movie's way. And it's not like
yeah,
no like it just speaks to how like dire the theatrical market is right now. Like it's just
yeah,
like
that's a good point.
nobody's gonna pay to see this unless you have like A-listers in it. And it's true. Like Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh like sell the movie and it's doing reasonably well because of that. Like it's like yeah, there's some buzz here because
Yeah,
they're both charismatic lead actors.
yeah,
So
you make a good point because like just imagine it's just like two random other British actors
yeah,
that
they
like are
wouldn't.
kind of like being like they're well-known British actors, but like globally no one knows them. Like
Yeah,
that, I could see this movie completely going just straight to Netflix and being like, oh,
yeah.
let's check this out on
And
like a Friday
it's
night with your
sad, but
girlfriend.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's like it's actually what happened. And even with the same director, the director of Brooklyn, still would go to Netflix. I think.
Wow. Yeah.
Because look, Edward Berger, we're going to talk about him next, but like his first movie was on Netflix too, and that
Yeah.
was it was incredible. But
Yeah.
it was, and now we've got Conclave too. But I don't know. I didn't want to segue too fast into Conclave. I did like We Live in Time, and I think
No, no, it was good. It was
yeah,
good.
it
Yeah.
was good. It was
Don't
well
get it
done.
wrong. It was good. It was just don't get too excited about it. It's
It
a good
would
time.
it would have been less, is what we're saying, if the
Yeah.
two of them weren't in it. But I definitely think as it is, there was one thing, if I can get a little bit into spoilers, I think there's a scene where so Florence Pugh gets sick, and Andrew Garfield and her are gonna get married before potentially something happens to her. And on the day of their wedding is Florence Pugh's big like cook chef thing. And she waits till the last minute to tell him, and like she basically like he has all the invitations printed and all this shit, and then
Oh,
she has to tell him like, hey, I'm doing this actually, and he's like, it's our wedding day, and then he's like really upset, like very upset about it. Like you could tell that it's like potentially like this is like really gonna affect their relationship moving forward, and
yeah.
then he just goes to the thing and it's never addressed. And I'm like, all right, like that was like really incredible performance from Andrew for a minute there. And then he's just like, hey, look, mommy's doing cooking. And I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck happened? Why are
Let's
you
be
cool with this?
supportive. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like I mean like I get it, like that's her dying wish is to just do what she wants to do and like not worry
Yeah.
about anything else. But at the same time, I'm like,
Also,
let's
they
put a
could have
romance
just
story.
gotten married after. It wasn't an all-day event. She cooked for like an
It's very
hour.
true. An hour. It was like a whole. It was like 5 hours.
Oh, okay,
It
maybe
was a
you're right.
long time.
Yeah.
The kid was sleeping.
Fair enough. Well, kids fall asleep pretty easily, but
I know.
it was probably longer than an hour. But yeah, they could have just got married after too.
I know.
It's just
I
like
yeah
they could work around it. That's what you have to do in a relationship. I mean, obviously,
yeah.
you got to make things work. And clearly, Andrew Garfield was just like, I guess we're not getting married then.
Yeah, I know.
And then that's it.
I was waiting for his like Oscar moment, like the big scene
Yeah.
where he starts screaming and freaking out, and then it didn't come. And I was like, wait, so there goes. Okay, Andrew's not getting nominated for this.
I
And then
just remember, I remember him with all the letters just throwing it right into recycling. It's just like hundreds of dollars worth of the letters just getting thrown away.
wait, I
The
don't
wedding.
remember. Oh, oh
Remember?
yeah, yeah, all
Yeah,
the
at the end,
invitations. Yeah,
just
yeah.
like literally hundreds of dollars just going right into the garbage.
Ah,
Again, you could have just made it work. Been like, okay, you could do your thing,
yeah.
and then after we can go get married.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
Didn't
it's
happen.
completely inconceivable. But
Maybe it happened off screen
oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
before the end. I was
Yeah,
upset. I was very sad.
the movie kind of ends semi-ambiguously, but I mean, you know what happens at the end.
100%.
Um,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah,
100%. Yeah. She's
yeah.
waving by at the end in the ice
I
rink.
can see people kind of getting annoyed by that, being like, "What happened?" But you know what happened.
You got to be
You
brain
gotta
dead.
be.
I know.
I know, but people want to know. They
I
want
know.
to not. They want to be seen. They want to see it instead of
You
just.
need to show me her grave.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I need. Sorry, spoilers. But
It needs to be like Conclave. We need to see the body just there. Now let's go to Conclave.
all
There we
right,
go.
perfect segue. Conclave. We knew nothing about this, but we wanted to see it because
Oh, all we knew was it was a Pope thing.
it was
And
a
I tried
Pope
to
thing.
explain to my girlfriend, and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I literally don't know. All I know is it's about the Pope."
I had a joke for you, and I'm gonna say it on air now.
All right.
There was a when you told me that before the movie started, like, oh yeah, like your girlfriend was asking you about it, and you said, I don't know, and it reminded me of Uncle James, and he goes, I don't know, I just know, and he's doing
Yeah,
the
that was
double
the
this.
skull of this. Like, I don't know. I just know. I know it's
I
gonna be a
don't know,
good
you
time.
know, it's a crazy risk, a gamble. It's about to pay off. And then you got your girlfriend being like, "That's the dumbest
What?
fucking bet I ever heard." The dumbest fucking bet I ever heard of. You want
uh,
to talk about awards bait? That movie got
oh, I
nominated for
know.
fucking nothing.
Oh, I know.
What a
I
disgusting.
know.
That's what I mean. A24 spread way too thin. You didn't. Iron Claw got dick, and then this year something's gonna get dick, and then we're gonna get really mad. We're gonna
Yeah,
be up in arms. If
I,
A24, what did they do? What did they do this year? They did We Live in Time. That's already getting swept under the rug for sure.
yeah.
They're doing Queer. I don't know if that's gonna pan out with Luca Guadagnino. No way. And then there's a
Yeah.
bunch of shit. There's a
Wait,
bunch
not
of
is that even coming out this year?
Queer. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, Sing
Okay.
Sing. Where's that? I have no idea.
We were waiting for it all year. I mean,
Since,
literally a full year has gone
since,
by.
since July, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Still nothing.
Uncut Gem's not winning anything,
They got
and
Baby
Iron
Girl.
Claw.
I don't even know. What are these?
You know,
What are these movies? Nothing's getting nominated. They're spreading themselves too thin.
I know I'm jumping ahead a tad bit too early, but
Okay.
Anora, you get that bought out by Neon.
Oh yeah,
A24 should have been on the hunt for that one.
that's
If you
Sean
want to get,
Baker. Sean
I
Baker.
know he did
Every single
A24.
A20. Both of
Yeah.
his previous ones are A24, right?
What was the other one before Red Rocket?
Florida Project.
That's right. Yeah, those
That
A24.
was
Yeah,
A24.
yeah.
God damn it!
And
You guys are.
and then
Who's over there now?
I don't know,
Somebody
but
new.
they. It's like
Oh
they buy the good movies that don't get award bait.
yeah. Yep. There is one or two that like will, but I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't.
like Moonlight.
Yeah, like a lot of them do well, but like I think there was one that's coming out this year from A24, and it was like maybe gonna do okay. I think it's Amelia Perez, the one that's going on Netflix. I don't even maybe that's not A24. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We'll talk about it another week. But
Yeah, we'll do that too.
there are like several awards contenders from A24 that like are potentially gonna make it, but it's like they're competing with each
Oh,
other. What?
sorry.
Which
The
one is it?
Brutals is
The
A24.
Brutalist. That's the one.
That's gonna
That's the
yeah,
one. Yes.
that make
But
some
again,
noise.
that just got acquired by A24. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Why are you just grabbing I mean, Brutalist was a good move, but like, what if it wasn't? And then it's just like, that's just another thing in your belt now.
Yeah, definitely. I think the problem is that I mean we're getting way off Conclave, but the problem I
Okay.
think with A24 is that they have they're known for like these really good indie movies, but they also have a lot of indie movies that kind of got swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And the problem now is that they're getting more popular, so they're widening their kind of circle of movies that they want people to see and know them for. And
Yeah.
some of these movies that are coming into the circle now aren't like their best movies.
It's true.
Like I'm looking like Baby Girl, like we saw a trailer for that.
Yeah,
It's probably gonna be fine,
yeah.
but like that's gonna be like a known A24 movie. You got Nicole
Nicole
Kidman, you
Kidman. Yeah,
got I mean like
I
is
know.
that what is that like top tier A24?
That's
Like
what we're
no.
heading into. No, yeah,
I
I
I
think that's
I
what's
I
happening.
don't think so. I mean, you got Heretic. Heretic looks like it could be good. I'm not
Oh,
sure
Heretic.
exactly.
That's a, that. Yeah, that's them too. And then that's like a mainstream one. That's a main one for awards. It's like, why are you also putting that out now? Like, why didn't that come out this weekend for
And
for Halloween?
it would have been
Last
perfect.
week even.
Yeah, and and like Civil War, like Civil War
I
was
forgot about
good,
that. Yeah.
but like if people see that, they're not gonna know it as an A24 movie,
Mm. We remember.
and
I
it's like,
remember our A24 Vibes episode years ago,
mhm,
back in 2021 on Mayhem Zone, and we talked all about A24 vibes and what it means to have A24 vibes.
yeah,
And
and
I think from I mean, good on them for becoming more of a legitimate powerhouse studio. However, or studio production company, it doesn't matter. It's all the same fucking thing to me. But when we say A24 movie, we mean a movie that starts with the A24 logo. That's what we mean. I don't
yeah,
know. Everybody's weird about like, oh, it's not in house. I'm like, I know, I get it.
I just if I see A24 in the beginning, that's what
That's
we
what it
both
is.
agree on that.
Yes,
That's what it is.
it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. I don't care if they bought it at Sundance or if they made it in house from the bottom up. It's an A24 movie.
yeah. Well, my whole point being is that they're starting to let in like A24 has always had these sort of side movies that they kind of not hide, but they don't get seen like at all.
Yeah, I mean, and
But
they
now
know
they're
that
getting more.
going in. You know.
They know that going in, and the problem is that as they're getting bigger, more people are going to look at these other movies and kind of be like, oh, okay, what's
Yeah,
this? But um, besides that, we still love A24.
we
But
do.
yeah, let's talk about Conclave.
Yeah, Conclave. It's very good. It's a Pope movie. There's a Pope thing going on. The Pope passes away, and they got to vote for a new Pope. It's a process that apparently I did a little research after we saw it.
Mhm.
It's a very secretive process that nobody really
Yeah,
knows about. So to see this is pretty interesting. It even makes
I,
me appreciate the movie even more because it's like, oh damn, like this is like something that like is not known about, and
yeah.
it still kind of isn't. So I thought it was
I've seen like a some sort of video talking about it, but I didn't actually like full on know the process. I knew about like the sort of cardinals have to vote, and I kind
yeah,
of thought it was like a they just keep voting until they get someone. I didn't know
yeah,
they can kind of like they kind of leave their monastery sort of church area and go to like a voting area and then go back.
yeah.
Um, I knew about like the smoke. The smoke is like I think it's white when they finally have a new pope, or it's black. It's one of those colors. Um, but yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, we both had no idea what we were really getting into for this movie,
Yeah.
and I loved it. I know you hate it.
I didn't hate it. I liked it. I thought it was good. I was a lot of these times Ronnie and I go to see these movies and it's more often than not after I've got off a 5 a.m. shift and I'm
Yeah.
tired. And Conclave is not exactly a movie that you want to
Oh
see off
no,
2 hours of sleep.
no,
I did good though. I don't think I slept that much during this one.
no.
Um,
But you missed. It
I
was really
missed
funny. Jake
yeah.
goes over. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Gets up. The most like action packed scene in the entire movie. He leaves for the only
Yeah.
one.
It was
He comes
insane.
back, and I gotta explain to him what
I
happens.
can't. I couldn't believe it. I literally. I'm gonna. I'll tell the story. I go to the bath. If you're worried in any way, shape, or form about spoilers for Conclave, click away. But I mean, it's not. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not.
So I'm not gonna give any context. I go to the bathroom. I drank the whole soda, the whole thing.
I got you for my
You got me.
birthday.
It was Ronnie's special free soda voucher. He got it for me.
Yeah.
Very kind. Very big thank you. And finished it. Got up, went to the bathroom. I'm like, I'm not missing much. This whole movie is them talking in boardrooms. I don't, whatever. It's like Oppenheimer, but like, you know, I
Less stakes.
actually no. This movie did remind me of Oppenheimer, and I'll explain why.
This
But
movie reminded me of Saturday Night, and I'll explain why.
interesting. All right, I'm excited. So
Yeah,
I go to the bathroom. I come back in, and our lead character is on the ground covered in rubble and debris. And I said, Ronnie, what the fuck happened? The whole thing is like an understated thriller where, like, we're trying to find the best pope. It's like takedowns, like kind of political
Yeah, it's a lot of
intrigue.
like I'll say it's political like dialogue, and there's
Yes,
no like physical violence, no
nothing.
like physical
It's the
anything.
movie's rated PG.
There's one like very, very, very minor, slight like physical thing, but beyond that, the whole movie is just like straight up dialogue.
Yeah,
And for you to walk out at that time is like absolute perfect
it's
timing.
so great. And I come back, I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna miss anything. I come back in, he's on the floor, like everybody's covered in dust. I'm like, what the fuck did I just miss? What did I miss? Apparently, the biggest scene in the movie. Not gonna go back and watch it again. No, but no, it
uh,
was really great performances. Everybody's really good in it. I like Stanley Tucci's great. John Lithgow is really good. Ray Fiennes, I think, is an underrated actor, and I do genuinely. I think he might be my like, unless I see something that also blows me away. This might be my. I'm happy if he wins Best Actor because like I
yeah.
really,
Mhm.
he's similar to Cillian Murphy. It's an understated kind of, but Cillian Murphy's like doing it. That's like a actual historical figure. So it's like, Cillian Murphy's kind of disappearing into that more. But like this
Mhm.
one, I'm like, it's the same kind of like, quiet intensity. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
there's a lot going on in the eyes, which I love. There's a lot of that. There's just so much like quiet, like I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. There's another great scene in this where I remember I think I like audibly went like, "Huh," when he's talking about the how the next pope should be like a man who's kind of flawed and like not really, he's kind of on the because it's like we can't present this like all good person because like it's
Yeah.
normal to
He
sin and have.
he doesn't want a pope that knows certainty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So that whole like speech really was like I'm like, "Oh, that's like
Yeah,
his
that
moment."
first speech was like incredible.
Yeah.
If he gets like he's gonna get nominated. I
Yeah, I
hope
think so too.
I think so. I think so because of the way it's kind of slanted. It's kind of like made to be
Yeah.
a the sort of theme, the topic of like the Pope is kind of very Oscar slanted.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that first like scene of him just going off was not
So
going off,
good.
but him just talking like right before they start voting was like incredible. It was like so profound what he said,
Mm-hmm.
and that's definitely what they're gonna show if they have. I hope they show that if they
I
have him
I
for the
think
Oscars.
that's like his moment, and then like
Yeah,
that, and like him crying, but like that's it. And
yeah,
like it's great though. Like he did a really good
yeah.
job, and I've always liked him as an actor.
Hmm.
Um, and I hope it's his time because he was fantastic. And again, like everything on the technical side of this, very similar to All Quiet on the Western Front from Edward Berger. Like this was one that I was looking out for because of Edward Berger's involvement. Like I think what he did with All Quiet on the Western Front was so good, and like I was very much this was already on the top, and it's just like such a 180 from that. Whereas like All Quiet on the Western Front is loud war, like
Hmm.
just constant like I remember the score in that became a meme because they just played it so much at the Oscars and it's an amazing score. It's just like that one cue
Yeah.
and like this is not that. I mean, it's similar to that in the sense of the score, but like it's just like it's PG. There's very besides the part I went to the bathroom on, there's very little there's noise. It's just like it's very quiet. Like everybody's kind of just like scheming and hanging out in rooms, and
Hmm.
it's they still managed to make it riveting, and that's what makes me think of Oppenheimer with this is like
Hmm.
they make a spectacle out of the mundane, I
Yeah.
guess. It's like there's so many like understated like quiet moments, but it's played as like the most important thing in the world. And I think that's what makes it feels much bigger in that way. And also the cinematography is amazing. Like that's another thing that I think could potentially
Yeah.
get some Academy recognition, and the costumes were really
Hmm.
those stood out as well to
Yeah.
me. I think every church thing they really make it
Yeah.
look nice.
Hmm.
Damn, my freaking email there. I'm gonna close that out. But yeah, I want to hear how this reminds you of Saturday Night Live.
So I agree with what you said. I really liked it. Do you have like the quiet moments? And I think it shows I still haven't seen All Quiet on the Western Front. I've actually read the book.
Oh, nice.
But um I think it shows versatility as him as a director to be able to do something like this where it's like you have this I think World War I, just like loud, just like changing the innocence of like a young German boy to like a man, like a just like heartbroken, just soul sucking, taken out man, and just like can't be part of society anymore. And you just go to this movie that's like a complete 180, where it's quiet, it's very political in the sense of like trying to become the next pope voting wise, not like actual politics.
No.
Um, very dialogue heavy, very quiet, very somber. Um, I do like. I think what makes it such a good. I'm. This is why I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I was gonna give it higher, but I was worried that there's a large intrigue in this movie because there's like a kind of mystery going on where the Pope dies, and then they kind of ask some questions, and there's something that comes out, and it's kind of like this little breadcrumb trail throughout the whole movie during the conclave, which is the actual like process of getting a new Pope. And it kind of drives the movie where you're kind of left being like, for me at least, I was left being like where's this kind of going? I know, like I can tell this is a good movie. This is a very well made movie. This is all gonna lead to something. It's not just gonna kind of cut off and not go anywhere. And I'm worried that if I went and saw this again, it would kind of get ruined for me because I'm kind of like, I kind of know I'm already getting into. I know what the sort of mystery is.
Hmm.
Um, but the performances were absolutely incredible by the main actor. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Um, like very profound speeches. Cinematography is very good. I mean, you have just a scene of a bunch of I think it's just cardinals. They're just wearing like their red robes and they just have white umbrellas, and it's just like it reminded me of Dune. It was just
Yeah.
such a like a it's just such like a almost like sci-fi, just like epic shot, and it's just cardinals walking under rain with umbrellas. It's like the most ridiculous thing. Um, I really liked it. It was a very good time. It reminds me of Saturday Night because he is just like Laura Michaels, just trying to deal with all the chaos of what's going on.
Okay.
Where in Conclave, he's trying to run this. He's trying to run this entire Pope voting system, and it's just like so much nonsense chaos is going on. In Saturday Night, he's got so much nonsense chaos
Just
going on.
imagine when he votes for himself, that's him like doing the live weekend update.
Oh,
He's like, I'm gonna vote for myself, fuck it. And then he's just like, hey, I'm Lorne Michaels. How about that? And then ultimately, it's like, you know what, Chevy Chase, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. That's why I kind of thought of immediately was like there's just like it's just a person in like in a position of authority where no one else really is kind of in any control and they don't really know what's going on, and he's the one that has to front all of it and handle it and deal with it and be the one that's responsible for actually happening. So I like those sort of parallels, although again, completely different type of movies, completely different tones, themes, performances. But yeah, Conclave was a really good time, and I hope I see it during Oscar season.
I think we
Get
will. And
awards.
I also really like how like the lead Ray Fiennes, he's like very much like he's aware that he's like a flawed guy. Like he's kind of like, yeah,
Hmm.
no, like I don't think I should be the Pope because I'm having like questions of faith. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh, okay. That's like
yeah,
fucking
and the movie
crazy. Yeah.
does lead you down a path where you're like, oh, so he's gonna beat the Pope.
Right. You could see it going there, and it's going to
Yeah,
be like one of these, like, it might literally have the same last shot as Oppenheimer, where
yeah,
he's like, what have I done? Like, what about, why did I? It's
yeah,
like, it could literally end like that. You could
yeah,
see it, but it
yeah.
doesn't
Where
ultimately.
he's like, I have doubts, and I'm the Pope.
It's like,
Yeah,
what does that look like? That's super crazy. But I like that he had that kind of like, you know, self-awareness to be like, yeah, no, I don't, I'm gonna remove myself
yeah,
from the running here. Like, but then
yeah,
everything shit starts coming out of everybody else, and it's like, all right, well,
yeah.
I don't think any of you could really fucking do this. It's like this isn't looking
Yeah,
great.
I was gonna say there's also like some slight modern day contemporary political
Stuff in here, yeah.
similarities where it's like, well, we have to pick the best of the worst options because those
Basically.
are the only options. Um, but no, that's brought up in the movie too. That like, you know, the everyone's you going to be flawed. Like that's
Hmm.
who you want as the Pope.
Exactly.
Um, if we get into some spoilers for this,
Sure.
um, the sort of main mystery is this like sort of document that gets found, and basically what happened is there's this black cardinal who, well, like starting off has like the majority of the votes, and what ends up happening is there's some woman. I forgot where she was from. Was she from Haiti?
So, I think it was Africa. Yeah,
It was
like
Africa.
something,
Well,
something, something like that. Yeah, I
um,
can't remember.
he basically had like an affair with her, and it
Yeah.
was a very large age difference. And obviously, if you're a Catholic priest, you're not supposed to engage with like any female sort of romantic involvement at all.
Hmm.
Um, so it ends up happening is that another cardinal, who I forgot his name, but he plays Barney's dad in How I Met Your Mother.
Hmm.
He sort of blackmails and gets this woman to come here to the conclave, and then he causes like it causes like a big scene, and he gets out of the running, and then because of that, uh, what's his name? Ray what?
It's Rafe Fiennes. It's like
Rafe?
it's
Oh, yeah,
it's
Ray
it's it's
Rafe.
written Ralph, but it's
Yeah,
Rafe.
Ray
So yeah.
finds his character is kind of like investigating like, oh, why is she here, and it finds out, oh, this guy blackmailed to bring that girl here, so he shouldn't be pope either. And
Yeah.
then the whole thing is like there's kind of like a traditionalist cardinal who's like there should only be a Roman Catholic like Italian who should be the pope. We should only be speaking Latin. There shouldn't be like gay marriage allowed or
Mm.
tolerated. There shouldn't be other religions tolerated in the Catholic Church. Um, so it's kind of like we need someone to not have that happen,
Yeah.
and everyone else is falling down. And in the beginning of the movie, there's like a cardinal from Afghanistan, and it's
Hmm.
kind of like, oh, what's going on here? Like, where did he come from? It's kind of like a secret, like hidden, like the Pope did it in secrecy because he's from the Middle East, and it's like if he comes out as a Christian, like he could just get killed like instantly.
Mm.
Um, and there's a mystery with him where it turns out there's like some medical history, and it's like, oh, what happened? Oh, he didn't go get treatment for it though. So is he sick? Is he not? And what ends up happening is he has a profound speech near the end of the movie where it's like we need to look in within ourselves to find out like the problem isn't out there, it's within ourselves that we need to fix. And this big speech he makes ends up making him the Pope. And it comes out that this sort of big medical procedure was because he has like female genitalia
Hmm.
within himself. Um, and it kind of goes back to sort of themes in the movie where they're talking about how the Pope should be sort of like a flawed man
Yeah.
because he really is in like the sense of biologically like a flawed man. Like he's both. And it's like, he was gonna go do the procedure, but in the eyes of God,
Right.
um, he thought this is who God made me as, so I'm not gonna change that vision of what the he wanted for me. So it kind of builds into the whole thing of like you want a flawed character who doesn't know certainty because he thought he was certain that he was a man, like
Right.
without any extra genitalia, and it turns out he wasn't. It was a really good time though. Surprising like twist at the end with that being
Yeah.
like kind of out of nowhere,
A little
sort
bit.
of.
Yeah. It
But
was. I was like, well, okay.
yeah, it was good though. Very good movie.
Yeah, I liked it. It was definitely good. Definitely think we're gonna see that. I think that's like the one of the first big like definitely gonna see that in the
Yeah.
Oscars. Yeah, definitely check out Conclave if you are interested in Edward Berger's work, or if you just like really good, quiet, you know, riveting movies in that way.
Yeah, this is made
Um,
for old. The whole
oh
the
yeah,
whole theater was just old white people.
shockingly full, like
Yeah.
shockingly full Sunday afternoon,
Yeah, they packed the
loaded.
house.
They
They
packed it
packed the
up.
house.
Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
full house. So yeah, encouraging to see. So that's always fun when we have a full theater. Um, yeah, that about does it. We've got a couple of movies coming out to look forward to. I believe a couple of things are having limited release, so I'm not going to mention them. But if Ronnie and I can get out to see them, we will try.
Mhm.
But this week, particularly, I believe we are both definitely going to be seeing Anora together.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, Definitely, probably another big kind of conclave level or fire hit here.
Mhm.
I think, as far as we know, everything about it is fantastic. Sean Baker's previous work really gives me no reason to be worried. I think
Mhm.
it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited to see it. I've heard great things. It won the Palme d'Or, which in the last since 2018 has been an indicator of the Best Picture nominee. So
Mhm.
Palme d'Or winners typically go on to be nominated for Best Picture, so I think we are looking at Anora as a Best Picture nominee, potentially front runner. Super excited to see that, and we will definitely talk about that on our next episode. And we might also be doing a little autopsy of Robert Zemeckis' new film here.
Yeah,
Um,
autopsy is the right word, I think.
I think that's going to end up being one of those like, yeah, it was misunderstood, amazing, or here's why it's really bad. One of those two. But it's not looking great. Definitely still have, a desire to see that because
Yeah,
the talent involved alone, and I think the concept. I really like that idea.
it's kind
Um,
of just like a more mainstream version of a ghost story. I see it like that.
yeah, exactly. I never even put that together. That's exactly what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Wow,
Um, it's literally just that. I just saw
it
that because
is.
it's like you got the biggest like director from I guess late 80s, early 90s,
Yeah.
mid 90s.
Hmm.
You got Tom Hanks. You got
Robin
it's
Wright.
terrible, Robin Wright who played Jenny.
Hmm.
Um, so you got the whole gang back together. So it's like, oh, this is gonna be a great movie. I mean, it's very mainstream, very like one shot like interesting idea.
Hmm.
But like instantly, I was like, oh, this is like a ghost story. And
Yeah.
I think where Ghost Story kind of succeeds and it's sort of interesting sort of showing of like a life beyond the grave and sort of like having that be a sort of vehicle to show like this spot on earth like how it lives out through the universe. This movie's going to kind of falter and just kind of be like, oh, there's this event that happens and then this happens and then this happens and then oh look, we used to live here, we sold the house, kind of thing.
I
And I think
think
it's going to not be as interesting.
I think a ghost story was more like authentically profound, whereas
Yeah, exactly.
here
Yeah.
is going to be more manipulatively profound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I think that's exact spot on what you said.
I think it's also just like a which Zemeckis has been doing this for ever, and I think like once he stops doing this, I think he'll become a really talented filmmaker again. And it is experimenting with computer technology. Like it just stop doing that. Like why are you? It seems like
Yeah.
it seems like he's putting the cart before the horse with some of this stuff because it's like, all right, Polar Express, fun idea for a movie. Let's make them all look like weird computer gremlins. Like what the fuck? Why? And then he did like three movies like that, and then he did the Welcome to Marwin movie, which I was really actually awful. And like I saw that, and it was just like I liked the idea for that movie, and it was awful. And then this now again saw the trailer. Tom Hanks, Robin Wright, like
I mean, we
you.
heard about this back in like spring. And
I
I was
was
like, this,
excited to see it.
I
Like
was
this
excited. I'm
looks
like, this,
amazing.
yeah, I'm like, this could be good.
And it's just it looks like, oh, we're gonna figure out how to make them look like CGI young people. And it's like, why? Like why is that the reason you made this?
yeah,
I don't like that.
it seems like a sort of Martin Scorsese sort of thing where he's like, I got my guys, I'm gonna stick
Yeah.
with them. And it's like, your guys are 30 years like too old to be playing any of the characters at the ages that you want. Like you can't do that.
Yeah, or just cast younger. Like
Yeah,
don't
that's
why
what
do
I
you
meant.
save
That's what I was gonna say.
money? Yeah.
Just cast different
You can
actors.
still have your friends in the movie for those respective
Yeah.
portions,
If
but
you want
like,
like
you
you
know,
want a grandfather, get Tom Hanks in. You want a grandmother, get
get
Jenny
Robin
in.
Wright, yeah,
Yeah,
and you
get
just
Robin Wright.
have like good like you can find actors that look like Tom Hanks. You can find actors that look like
Yeah.
her, and you can do that and do it look
Yeah.
seamless. It's better that way, and you're saving tens of
Yeah.
millions of dollars because like now what? This movie costs how much? Probably over $90 million, and it's gonna
Oh my
make. I
God.
can't. Can you imagine? It's not.
Oh.
It
Oh my
probably,
God.
dude. The amount of CGI in it, I can't see this being less than 50 million
Yeah, I
dollars.
mean you're right because it is full on like they're showing
CG,
shots in the trailer of Robin Wright going up to the
de-aged,
camera, de-age exactly.
and it's like
Yeah.
you know how expensive that shit is, and it's also, and it not number one, it looks bad. Number two, it's so expensive, and number three, even if this movie costs 10 million, it's going to flop. So why did you do this? You're just now
Yeah.
you're in a position where like you've made a movie, no matter how good it is, it's going to now lose money. No matter
Yeah.
what. No matter
Mhm.
what. Forrest Gump, a huge moneymaker.
Yeah.
This is a different era. We do not
Yeah.
live in this anymore. And unless here was like amazing and like everybody's like
Yeah.
it's literally Forrest Gump again. It's literally Forrest Gump. It's like that's the only way that this movie can make
Hmm.
even half of Forrest Gump's money. That's the only way. And I still think it would have made significantly less than Forrest Gump.
Oh, for sure.
In
Yeah.
30 years later, it would have
Yeah.
still. But
Yeah.
like, I, what man? I don't like. I just it's shocking to me that it's like why did you set yourself up in such a way to fail? And it's very similar to. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
No,
We're
say
gonna
it.
end
You
the
gotta
episode
say it.
there
No, 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 no. It's very similar to what?
to Megalopolis.
Oh.
What do you think I was gonna say?
I don't know. I honestly
It
don't
was
know.
very similar to that, where it's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna blow money.
Yeah.
We're just gonna. It's like, hey, uh, Francis, you gotta make all that back.
Yeah,
Do
he's
I?
got to. He's
Well,
got us.
he's fucked.
Yeah, the studio is gonna be okay. They could write that off as like a
The
tax write
studio,
off.
the studio they didn't spend anything on it.
Oh, it was just him? Is this literally
So
Megalopolis?
he put up the whole thing.
Oh, why are these old directors doing this? Oh, Jesus.
Yep,
Oh boy.
everything.
All that forest money's gone now. All of it's gone.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how much he put up for here. I think that might have been. I'm saying Megalopolis was all
Oh,
Francis.
oh no, no, I was talking about here.
Here, I don't
It
know. I
scared
don't.
me.
I that
Okay.
I don't know. I
No,
don't
no,
know the
I thought
breakdown of
here
that.
was too. I was like, are you kidding me?
No, I
Okay.
don't know. But I don't know what
Um,
studio greenlit this to be like a $200 million. Let's CGI everybody. That's so
but
ridiculous. But we're gonna see
I,
it probably, right?
I had someone I know see Nora, and they gave it 4.5 out of 5. He said it
Oh,
was a very
good.
good time, so
I'm
I'm very
excited.
excited for it. I mean, going in, we knew it was gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Um,
Are we?
it's
You're gonna see it here. I'm gonna try to.
I'm gonna message the guy who wanted to see it with me, but he might say no now that it's
Oh
like
no.
looking bad.
All right.
So
Well
we'll
then.
see, we'll see.
Well then we're going.
I
So
was gonna say I'll go with you. Because I still want to see it just to be
I
like,
know.
what happened?
I know.
Is
I'm
it just
so
like the bad
interested.
CGI? Is it just like generic and formulaic?
Yeah.
Because it seems
Probably
like it
all the
has
above.
all the pieces to be like interesting enough to not get like horrible reviews.
Yeah.
Maybe like a 70 on Rotten
Right.
Tomatoes,
That's what
like
I was
there,
looking
like
for.
or is 70 certified fresh or is like 75?
Certified is over 75.
Yeah, like right under.
Yeah.
Not like to be offensive or anything
Hmm.
bad, but to get like it's like 38 right now.
Oh my
It's kind of
God.
rough. It's rough. Unless it's one of these movies that's like Uncut Gems where the audience loves it.
Oh, Uncle Jones was the other way around.
I'm sorry. Opposite of Uncut
Audiences
Gems,
hated it. It could be an opposite of Uncle Gems. The audiences love
where
it, and then the
just
critics hate
audiences
it.
love it. I could see that too. I could see
I
it
could.
just resonating with like audiences and being kind of like a nice kind of life story movie
Yeah,
that's done like okay, and audiences resonate and like that, and critics just hate
maybe,
it.
maybe. But yeah, guys, I think that does it for this episode of Awards Bait. This ended up being a good episode. I think
Yeah.
we talked a lot about some interesting topics.
Hmm.
I think we're finding our footing here with this show, and I'm excited to keep going. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to keep a lookout for us every other Tuesday. Check out the other programs here on Galaxy of Film. We've
Hmm.
got short films on the YouTube channel. We're getting real close to monetization. Pretty exciting.
Mm.
That Art the Clown interview is popping off. Getting Real with Zippy is coming very soon. We will have an exact date pretty soon, I hope. But first things first, we have a horror film dropping pretty soon titled Pretty Hurts. And that is coming pretty soon. So we're excited for that. Ronnie, you want to plug anything before we go, or you want to just say your goodbyes?
I'll say my goodbyes. Anyone wants to put in the comments, like, any early predictions, anything that
Yeah.
they think might be really good, or anything that they think might be really bad, let us
Hmm.
know. You never know what we might read or might not read.
That's right. Yeah, we've got a lot of things coming out, and we
Get
want
some engagement.
get some engagement and get some suggestions because maybe there's some stuff on that's
That's
still like
true.
I'm still
Yeah.
new titles every day. I'm like, whoa, what
Yeah.
is this movie? And then why is
Yeah.
this now on the Oscars predictions?
Hmm.
It's still early in the year, so we still got time. No, it's not, but like you know what I mean. Like it's still like early in
Yeah,
the season, I should say.
something could have passed us by earlier in the
Yeah.
year.
We might something might emerge. The Brutalists just came out of nowhere, you know.
I know.
It's now that's a front runner. So
Yeah.
these things happen overnight. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one with our review of Anora and our autopsy of Here. Thank you guys, and yeah, see you. Bye.